A streak starts at 3 and good things happen in threes.
There goes Davis. Oh my God! Davis is going running all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game.
Hello and welcome to this episode of War Eagle Weekly, and not just any episode of War Eagle Weekly. This is Iron Bowl week, baby.
Bowl.
How we doing, Josh?
Dude, it's I can't wait, especially after last night's victory and the potential to end the season on a winning streak. Get out of town. I mean, we're fighting for bowl eligibility at this point, but I mean, you can't help but feel confident after beating the number 15 team in the country and then seeing Alabama lose in the fashion that they did against an unranked opponent. I think it's I'm pretty sure it's the first time in Alabama school history where they did not finish a game without scoring a touchdown.
Wow. Yeah, that's
not
crazy.
A single game in Alabama history.
That can't be school history.
At least in modern football history. It's crazy to think that.
Everybody fact check us on this. Leave a comment below. Let us know if Josh is wrong on that statement, because that's hard to believe, man. That is hard to believe. But hey, let's jump right into this game because we got a hell of a lot to talk about. And both of us are fired up for this game. We, like a lot of you out there, have family members that we have to endure year in and year out. Talk about Alabama and the great Nick Saban and how pretentious they are. And you know what? This has been a very humbling year for the Alabama Crimson Tide fans as well as the players. And they have not looked great this year, Josh. They are sitting at 8-3, 4-3 in conference. It's like, welcome to the rest of the world, Alabama. It's been a while.
No kidding. I'm so excited for them to, have a struggle season and hear all the excuses after the season. I'm very excited that they are statistically eliminated from the college football playoff. I'm just excited for the potential of this game to just be an epic game and both teams just go all friggin' out.
Yeah, let's talk about this real quick. We haven't even discussed this at all. And this is kind of, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Does Kalen DeBoer last through December if Auburn wins this game?
Yes. I mean, there's going to be fans that are calling for his head, but I can't imagine a world where Alabama gives up on their next Lord and Savior after Nick Saban retires after one season. I can't see a world where that happens. Now, I mean, the old saying it stands true that you want to be the guy that replaces the guy and not
no.
Not the first replacement.
You don't want to be the guy that replaces the guy. You want to be the next guy.
Oh, that's what I meant. But I mean, it's showing true because there's been ever since, even when Alabama wasn't losing, there was fans out there saying that Kalen DeBoer is just not going to cut it, and now he's losing to teams in embarrassing fashion. Jalen Milroe goes out and throws 3 interceptions in a game. I can't see Kalen DeBoer being fired after one season. I just can't.
I'm interested to see if there are any Alabama fans here in the video, because I'm going to be tagging them. I want this to show up on their feed because I want them to see this. Leave a comment below. Let's hear what you think. Should Kalen DeBoer be fired? And you Auburn fans out there, do you think that they're going to pull the trigger? Because I kind of do. If they're 8-4 on a year where they also lose the Iron Bowl, they lose to Auburn and Vandy and Oklahoma in the same year. And who's their fourth loss? Georgia, right? No, they beat Georgia. Who was their fourth
Auburn
loss?
Would be their fourth loss. It's Vandy, Tennessee, Oklahoma.
That's
their losses.
Yeah, Tennessee. So they lose to their 2 biggest rivals, according to the Alabama fans. Tennessee is the biggest rivalry. And I just don't know how he survives losing to his 2 biggest rivals. and the expectation that this fan base has. I could be wrong. I don't think very highly of the Alabama fan base, and I don't think very highly of their ability to be okay with their team being mediocre, and that's what this team is. They put up some really good points this year. Their offense is doing pretty good, but there's been games where they have just disappeared. And don't get me wrong, I was a big Jalen Milroe fan heading into this season. Obviously he played for Alabama and that hurt him, but I thought he was going to have one of the best seasons out of any quarterback in the SEC this year. I ranked him very high on our QB ratings or rankings that we did at the beginning of the season. We were wrong on a lot of QBs, and this seems to be the one that I was wrong on as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been high on Jalen Milroe. I think he's very overrated. I think he's about the same rating as Carson Beck. I don't think they're very good at all. I think he's just he's run happy. He's trigger happy, and he's like, oh, I got Ryan Williams down there somewhere, so he's going to pass it up.
He's 17.
Ryan Williams,
actually.
Yeah, right. I did not know that. But I mean, when you got a guy like Ryan Williams, you can't help but think that way. But I mean, in my opinion, Jalen Milroe has been a very big reason why they've lost all three of those games that they have.
That's fair. That's fair. So, well, Josh, we could probably keep going on about our insults that we have to Alabama as well as Alabama fans. But let's go ahead.
You know what the biggest insult is, though?
Yeah, go ahead. I want to hear it.
Jalen Milroe is the 6th ranked passing leader in the SEC. You know who's number 5? You know who's inside the top 5 passing stats in the SEC and who isn't?
Shit. I even hate that I am seeing where you're going with this. Go ahead and tell me just to
Peyton Thorne is a top 5 passer in the SEC. Jalen Milroe is not.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here. Peyton Thorne is going to get drafted higher than Jalen Milroe in this upcoming draft. You heard it here.
I don't know about that. He might get drafted higher in the USFL draft, but
oh man, I thought you were going to make a Aiden Holloway joke, and kind of go that route. But
why would I do that? It's 2 different sports, dum dum.
I know, but Aiden Holloway is terrible, just the same.
Hey, he had a good one game.
Oh, okay, my bad.
One game.
Moving right along. Josh, let's jump into our keys to the game. The most important game of the season, not only because it's a big rivalry game, but because really, do we have anything to play for outside of winning this game?
Contention.
I get that. But it just adds more to this game, in my opinion. I don't know. I think with a 5-7 record, we're still going to get a bowl invite. I think with 5 wins,
I think you have to have 6 wins to be a bowl eligible, don't you?
Yeah, 6 gets you a guaranteed bowl invite. But there's too many bowls out there, and they do invite 5-win teams, and some of the more hyped up 5-win teams, and a ranked win against Texas A&M may have done that for us. And because we are such a statistically and rankings wise, we're really good on offense according to the rest of the country. Like on paper, when you look at it on paper, you're like, how is this team not winning more? So either way, let's jump into our.
The only way you can make a bowl with under 6 wins is if there's not enough teams in the rest of the country that meet the 6-win criteria. You have to have 6 wins to make a bowl.
That's fair. Have you seen this season though? Indiana was ranked in the top 5.
Screwed up season. You're right. It's a screwed up season. Can you believe Indiana's going to make the college football playoff over Alabama?
They might. I don't know. They were so embarrassed by Ohio State. They may just like, okay, let's get those guys out of
Hey,
there.
that's a one-off. They were a top 5 team with 0 losses.
They play Ohio State again 10 more times, and it's the same outcome.
I don't know. I need Ohio State to lose in embarrassing fashion so Auburn can get Naeem offered.
I'm okay with that. Yeah. Okay, Josh, what is your first key to the game?
Run the damn ball, dude. You have the second leading rusher in the SEC in Jarquez Hunter, averaging 6.6 yards a carry. And did you know there's only 2 1,000-yard rushers in the SEC this year?
Wow.
Only 2. The other one is Dylan Sampson from Tennessee, and Jarquez is only less than 200 yards away from him with half the carries he has. But, I mean, you got a player like Jarquez Hunter, you run the damn ball.
Dude, he had over 30 touches in the Texas A&M game. The coaches fed that dude between pass catching.
Is that receiving and rushing? Okay.
Yeah. Touches.
Wow.
Touches. Over 30 touches went to Jarquez Hunter in that game. In our previous video, we talked about MVP, and neither one of us chose Jarquez Hunter. But when you see stuff like that and you hear stats like that, you got to think that this dude is the team's MVP for the year. Jarquez Hunter is just a beast, and I agree with you. You need to run the ball, and we just need to keep feeding Jarquez. We say it week in and week out. We talk about them giving the ball to Jarquez, and
I agree.
They have yet to do it in back-to-back games. So he will probably have 10 touches in this next game, and coach will come out and be like, oh, yeah, no, he had a sprained ankle when he's over there doing jumping jacks. So who knows?
Well, listen to this right here. So Alabama's defense, all season long, they've allowed on average 143, 144 yards a game on the ground. In their losses, they've allowed 213.4 yards a game.
Ooh.
Auburn is averaging 171.6 yards a game all season long. And in their wins, they're averaging 228.4 yards on the ground. So that is going to be a very big key to this game. Alabama's defense is loving allowing these running backs to get loose and gain yardage. And no one in the country has maybe except for Boise State, has a guy on their team that can get yards like Jarquez Hunter.
Hey, that's a fair point. And I hope you're right. I hope we do run the ball. My key to the game is going to be we need to prevent the big plays because Alabama has big players. They have the Ryan Williams of the world that can catch the ball anywhere on the field and can turn it into a home run. He can out-jump anyone on our defense if he is given the opportunity. The dude is only 5 foot tall, but he can somehow out-jump everyone. The kid, he's only 17 years old, but he is electric.
Wow. I mean, 17 is crazy.
Let's put that aside. We joke about that. Everybody does. But it's just absolutely amazing what he has done. And so Alabama has these big players. Jalen Milroe can go off in a game. He can give you big plays. We've seen it firsthand. Jalen Milroe produce big plays. We saw it last year in the final play of the game. We have to prevent that. And this defense has had a problem this year in preventing the big plays. And so if we can prevent the big plays, you would think that we're going to be in a good position to win this game. Because last week against Texas A&M, we allowed some big plays to happen, and it allowed Texas A&M to get right back in that game. So we have to prevent those big plays.
Yeah, and I honestly don't know if we have a DB that can contest Ryan Williams on those 50-50 balls that Jalen Milroe just tosses up there. I mean, the only one I can think of is maybe Jalen Crawford, but other than that, there's really not a guy on that secondary that can even come close to defending what Ryan Williams can do. I mean, again, we do joke about him only being 17 because ESPN and whoever else is covering Alabama just loves talking about the kid. But it's kind of amazing what he's been able to do. Like you said, he's short as hell, but he's able to jump like he's 6'7". So I mean, it's big. Preventing the big plays is a very, very big deal when it comes to Auburn secondary. We've seen it all season long. 3rd and long, 4th and long. They're just allowing these stupid plays to happen, and it's costing us the game.
Yep. You know who would have been a perfect DB to put out there on Ryan Williams if he was still with us?
Yao Ming.
Champ Anthony.
You're right.
Because the dude, he would have been physical with an undersized wide receiver and just would have I think he would have handled Ryan Williams. I don't know if he would have shut him down completely, but I think that's who we're missing.
Been able to compete for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I hope he's able to get a medical red shirt.
I hope so too. So, Josh, what is going to be your next key to the game?
Containing Milroe. If you're able to prevent his scrambling, and get to him to sack him, you're gonna do a lot of good things. Auburn, in their rushing yards, in their wins, they've only allowed 98.8 yards on the ground in their wins, and Alabama is only averaging 76.3 rushing yards in their losses. And
what are
Alabama,
they
huh?
What are they averaging in their wins?
I don't know. I didn't even care about their wins. It's not a whole lot, especially when they're only averaging 181 rushing yards a game all season.
Okay, yeah.
So Auburn has been able to get to the quarterback on average 2.45 sacks a game and 2.6 sacks in their wins, and Alabama's giving up 2 sacks in their losses. So if we can get to Jalen Milroe and get at least those averages, then it's going to put Auburn in a very, very good position in this game. This game is a lot more even than a lot of people might like to think. It really is.
I agree. Yeah. The big advantage Alabama has in this game is the fact that they're at home. Let's just be honest.
Yes.
Not because I don't think it's because it hurts us, our side or our play style that much, other than it's just not at Auburn. I mean, that's just like, I don't know. That's all I'm saying. It is a close. I agree. It's close. We're close. And Alabama is a very beatable team. This is the one of the most beatable Alabama teams we have seen in 20 effing years. It seems.
It really is.
It seems like it's not true, but it seems like it.
Looks even better whenever your team has a top 5 SEC passer and the other one doesn't. It looks like I can't get over that, Cameron. I just can't.
Oh my gosh. I will say though, I will maintain this. I would rather have Jalen Milroe than Peyton Thorne. Let's just be honest.
I don't know if I would go that far, mainly because Milroe gives you that run, that dynamic and elite running ability. Because I will give that Jalen Milroe. When he sees an open field, there is no stopping him.
Yeah.
But he is a little bit he's probably about the same amount of idiot as Peyton Thorne is when it comes to breaking down under pressure. I hate that I've given Peyton Thorne so much shit all season long, and then he goes and plays like he did last night against Texas A&M. He looked very good. It's hard for me to do that against an Auburn quarterback, but the numbers don't lie.
No, and it's less about the numbers because again, he's a top 5 quarterback in the SEC, and it's more about inopportune moments, and he makes mistakes when it really hurts us more than it would if it happens at another time. Like the other night, throwing an interception in the opponent's red zone in the 4th quarter. It's just compounding issues. That's where Peyton Thorne makes mistakes, is when it is the most like when you look at this and you're like, okay, you can't take a sack here, and all of a sudden he takes a sack and you're like, son of a bitch.
every game this season it seems like he's done that.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, talking about our team and making mistakes, my next key to the game is going to be we need to play loose. We need to go out there. Like I said earlier, what do we have to play for other than to just beat Alabama because because they're there? That's, I mean, yes, bowl eligibility, I get it, but play loose. This coaching staff has seemed like they've taken the training wheels off of the offense and said, screw it, let's run our plays, let's run our offense, and outcome be damned. And it's worked more often than not so far.
I would say it has, and definitely been able to tell, especially over the last 3 weeks. They have taken the run option not all the way away from Peyton Thorne, but they have made it more of an emphasis for them to put it in Jarquez's hands rather than Peyton Thorne keeping it on an RPO. So I do agree with you.
Which he made mistakes. He made mistakes in the Texas A&M game where he kept the ball when he really should have handed it off. Even if the read said, I need to keep this because I trust Jarquez to make something out of it more so than I do Peyton Thorne. But all in all, we have to play loose. And if we can play loose, we could go up 21-0 on them in the first half, just like we did.
What is this, Europe?
You know me. I like my soccer.
Football.
So, yeah, I think that this game, we have every bit of recipe to win this game. And if we take those 4 keys that you and I both talked about, Auburn should be in this game at the very least.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's a world, especially this season, where something crazy can't happen for the good guys. I think Auburn's going to be more competitive than a lot of people think.
I think so.
I want to see more sad Alabama fans as well. Like, more than anything, I want to see sad Alabama fans.
Oh man,
I want to see our sister throw her phone and break it again.
Yep, we'll get a front row seat to that whenever they come over to the house to watch the game. So, well, Josh, let's jump right into our impact players for the game. I'm going to let you take yours first. And by the way, those of you that have not stuck around to this part of the video in weeks past, this is where everything falls off the track. This is where it never goes down the way it's supposed to. And I think we finally, last game of the season, we finally got it worked out. We got all the kinks, all the bugs figured out. So, Josh, without further ado, who is your first impact player of the game?
For Alabama, it's going to be Ryan Williams as the first impact player. The dude, he's a stud. He really is. I mean, through training camp before the season started, all we saw from him is dropping the easiest of catches uncontested. And now, if you throw the ball near him, he's going to come down with it no matter what, and he's going to somehow have his foot in bounds for it to be a completion. It's just, the guy he's the definition of an impact player. He truly is.
Yep. You have to think that when Alabama's offense is on the field and our defense is on the field, Ryan Williams is probably the best player out there, to be perfectly honest. It's hard for me to say that, but it's hard to disagree there. So,
yes, I would agree.
I don't think there's anything more to say because we've talked about it to death, because I agree with you. Ryan Williams he's 17. What more can you say?
Can't believe it.
My impact player of the game for Alabama is going to be Malachi Moore. The dude's a man child. He is, he made a mistake in the Vanderbilt game that just seemed un-Saban-esque, which is probably why it happened, because Saban's not there. But Malachi Moore is still the impact player on that defense. The guy he's played since 2020. He's been there for 5 years, and he is the leader of that defense. Let's just be honest. He's made plays left and right. He's improved.
He might throw temper tantrums, but he's good.
Yeah, he is, and he'll be all over the field. They use him to rush the passer. They use him to defend the best wide receiver. I think Malachi Moore is just going to be somebody that we have to watch out for because Peyton Thorne could easily throw him a couple of interceptions. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, I mean he plays the center of the field probably better than most people in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So he's definitely someone you got to watch out for in the passing game. Even in the rushing game, he'll sneak up on you and lay the lumber.
I agree. Josh, let's see. Let's keep this rolling going. Let's make sure. Let's see if I got it working. Who
All
is
right,
your impact player for Auburn? Your first one.
You cannot talk impact players without talking about a guy that averages 113.5 rushing yards versus Alabama in games he's played significant snaps against Alabama, and that's Jarquez freaking Hunter. The dude is just like Ryan Williams. He is the definition of impact player. If you go in thinking that all you got to do is go in there and worry about Cam Coleman, KLS, and Peyton Thorne and forget about Jarquez Hunter, he's going to put that 7 yards average to the friggin' test and show Alabama's like, hey, I'm still here. I'm going to run down your throat. And he's done that every single year. He's played significant snaps against Alabama. I mean, there's only one game against Alabama where he's only averaged – he got 2 yards on 3 carries. So I don't really count that as a significant –
Was that his freshman year?
Yeah, that was his freshman season when he was playing behind Tank Bigsby. And then 2 years after that, he gets 134 yards and 93 yards. And so, I mean, the dude he is going to be Auburn's biggest key, 110%.
Yeah, no, I agree. If, like you said earlier, if we run the ball, we should be in a good position. Hugh Freeze has won more games than he has lost by a significant margin when he has a 100-yard rusher. And so if he just feeds Jarquez, which the thing is we have not, this coaching staff has not shown that they're willing to call 2 games in a row where Jarquez is the featured player. They did it against Kentucky where he just killed them. And then the very next game, Jarquez has 15 touches because he was gassed somehow, which I'm sorry. I've seen that dude in many different ways, and he is not gassed with 15 carries. I'm sorry. There's no way. He is literally in this picture. He is literally carrying 2 ULM people. Players for 6 effing yards. Grown men. You're telling me on 15 carries he got gassed in the Vanderbilt game? No
so way.
I got to see it from the coaching staff. But if they give him his touches, Jarquez is going to go over 100, and Jarquez is going to give us a good chance of winning this game. I agree wholeheartedly with Josh.
Who you got, Cameron?
My impact player for the defense is going to be DeMarcus Riddick. We talked about it all game long about preventing the big plays. That starts with stopping Jalen Milroe. We've talked about containing Jalen Milroe, and that starts with stopping Jalen Milroe because of DeMarcus Riddick. And DeMarcus Riddick is a fast enough, smarter player that can keep up with him and can actually put Milroe in a poor position to do anything in this game. DeMarcus Riddick should be on the field for a majority of the snaps. And hopefully we don't play a lot of nickel, package, because that apparently keeps DeMarcus Riddick off the field.
Well, here's the thing. I think Auburn's they're basically going to be forced to play a lot of nickel or a lot of 3-3-5 because they're going to need all the help they can in the secondary. But DeMarcus Riddick does also need to be on the field. He easily has the best closeout speed on our defense.
By far. And if they're going to be in nickel, then they need to allow DeMarcus Riddick. They better just spend every day this week in getting him up to speed in the nickel package. Because I love Eugene Asante. Eugene Asante has given Auburn his all. Eugene Asante is a leader of men. Eugene Asante is a phenomenal athlete, and we expected a lot more from him this year, but he is not the same player as DeMarcus Riddick and does not have this year as big of an impact as DeMarcus Riddick has had.
Yeah, he's definitely had a quiet season. He's not the same player that we saw last season. I
Yeah.
don't know if I'd say that DeMarcus Riddick is on the same, plane as Eugene Asante because Eugene was so crucial to last year. But I just DeMarcus Riddick is definitely. I do agree with you. He's probably the more important player in this game specifically than Eugene Asante. But as a whole, as a leader, I would say I can't put Eugene Asante aside like that. They're both going to get snaps, but I do agree that DeMarcus Riddick needs to have more of a emphasis on the in game planning for the Iron Bowl for sure.
Yeah, no, he definitely does. But I think if man, he just feels like one of those players that you need on the field more often than not.
I agree. He
So,
definitely needs more snaps regardless.
well, either way, this should be a phenomenal game. It should live up to the hype that an Iron Bowl gives you. I I would love to have what's his face Acho there, but he's probably not going to be because he needs to see what a real rivalry game is, and not thinking that it's the freaking what is it called, River Rivalry. Come on, man.
Red River Rivalry. Who plays their biggest rivalry game middle of the season? Who does that? Cowards.
Florida, Georgia as well. They did that.
Cowards.
Yeah. So, and they both do it.
It matters.
Yeah, exactly. Last game of the year, things are on the line, like bowl eligibility and whether or not a coach is going to get fired. Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly here, Josh. No, I mean let's be honest. There were years where the winner of this game, there was a streak there for 4 years, I think. The winner of this game went to the national title game. So, when was the last time Oklahoma and Texas can say that? I don't think they can.
So. I don't think they can.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, Josh, our preseason predictions. Do you remember what you predicted for this game?
For the life of me, I cannot remember what I said.
You said Auburn 27-26, which is that's a crazy game, man. That's a crazy game.
Could you imagine Kalen DeBoer might get fired after that loss if that happens?
Yeah. I had Alabama winning 34-24.
I don't like it. I don't like that. I just don't.
I don't think I'm right. I don't think I'm right. I don't think Alabama can score 34 points on this Auburn defense. I think we have a bounce back game. I think DJ Durkin has those guys ready to play. Josh, before I get into that more, what is going to be your final prediction of the regular season?
I want to hear yours first.
You want to hear mine? You want to hear mine first?
I want to hear yours.
Okay. All right. Here it is. 24-17, Auburn.
I kind of was worried that you were going to call Alabama for that one. I like that score prediction. I don't know if it's going to be that big of a margin. I'm thinking 24-21 Auburn.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Yesterday in the Texas A&M game is the first game under Hugh Freeze at Auburn that he has allowed a opponent to score 20 or more points and him still win the game. Statistically speaking, when he allows teams score 20 or more points, Auburn loses the ball game.
You know how you said good things come in threes, Cameron?
That's true. That's true. Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
So let's start a streak. The War Damn Eagle. I mean, let's keep it going. Let's keep the sunshine pumping going. I'm all for it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with us being, hopeful and energetic going into this game because, Alabama, they literally have nothing to play for right now since they're out of the playoffs, and that's what they wanted. Auburn has everything to play for because they won a bowl game.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Are we going to see any motivated players that want to shut out Auburn? Because these seniors have not lost a game to Auburn, have they?
The last loss was 2019, wasn't it?
Yeah. So
in Alabama,
seniors. So maybe if they have some fifth-year seniors. So Malachi Moore, he was around in 2019, years. Right? Yeah, because of COVID. No, 2020 was his first year.
Okay.
2020 was his first year. And so, yeah, I don't know. There might be some players on here that are seniors that have lost to Auburn, but so they might be playing for that. Who knows? But hey, I'm all for it, man. I want the Auburn win. I'm picking Auburn for the win for the first time against a Power 5 opponent in quite a while. I didn't do this against the Kentucky team. I didn't do this, or I may have. I don't know. It's just been a while, man. I just hope that they found their gear, and I hope that they figured it out and are either going to play loose enough and just be having fun out there. And
I agree.
I want it to be a competitive game when it's all said and done. If we lose a close game, I'm okay. I'll eventually be okay with it. If we go out there and get blown out, I may cry. And by May, I probably definitely will.
Let me just say this. If a hurt TJ Finley and a 2021 Brian Harsin-led team can take number 3 Alabama to 4 overtimes and only lose by 2 points, and Auburn can force Alabama to have a 4th and 31 Hail Mary from last year and only lose by 3 points, this team can sure shit make this game a very hard game for Alabama.
Yeah. Well, Josh, both of those games were at Jordan-Hare Stadium, so that doesn't give me much confidence. But you know what? We're ending this season on a high. We're not only going to win this game, we're going to win signing day. We're going to be better than Alabama on that day as well. And with all that being said, Josh, in a wonderful, wonderful Iron Bowl week, War Eagle.
War damn Eagle.
There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going running all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game.